Okay, so let's start the program. This is a brand new program I put together called Fix Your Joints. Hey Linda, when we have movement issues, it can either be a hardware problem or a software problem, okay? Zoom. So what I mean by that, we have certain ranges of motion that we can no longer get to that we could when we were children. And once again, that can be because we don't have the mobility or the flexibility, or it could be because we haven't done that movement in so long that the brain the software has to be in touch with the muscles. So Bonnie, you just heard me explain this. I started with a woman the other day, baby training. She wants to be able to get down and up from the floor. So I had her on the floor, rolling around like a baby, crawling, picking up different things, crawling, getting up on one knee, and the doorbell rang, and she got right up. It was like an Amazon delivery or something. But without even thinking, she got right up because she'd been on the floor for 20 minutes and everything kicked in, okay? So for her, it was a software problem. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put you through different ranges of motion that we normally don't do in regular day-to-day living, but the body should be able to do it. So for instance, you can take a 10-pound dumbbell and do presses all day long and feel fine. You can reach into the back seat of your car to get your pocketbook and hurt your shoulder because we're never at this end range of motion. Make sense? Okay. So we're going to be doing a bunch of different things. This is the first time I've run this class, so it may be over time I'll figure out how to make it a little smoother. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with two things. So first of all, Zoomers, I have these wedges here. And what we're going to do, I don't know if you can see this enough, but we're standing on the wedge. Now I'm going to have you by a pole here so you don't lose your balance for people in class. But in this position, we are never in. We're always in this position if there's a heel on our shoe, okay? So this is gonna help us with ankle mobility. While people are doing the wedges, we're gonna do your favorite move, which you stand tall and it's a rotational slack, okay? When we're doing this, we're moving our spine in a rotational capacity that we normally don't do, okay? We'll do this, we'll do this, occasionally we'll do this, and we don't do this enough, okay? So let's see, 2, 4, 6, that will work out well. So while I have two people on the wedges, I want you to stand long, your arms are dead weight, and you're just turning at the waist, and the hands are slapping against the body. Oh, before I forget, I have to give you your homework. The homework is very simple. There's only 3 things. One of them is this rotational slap, okay? Now you said you like that for your students. Kind of mellows them out a little bit. Excellent. Okay, let me give you your homework. Hello. Actually, I just have to make a call. Make a copy, please. Okay, so I'm going to bring the wedges down on the floor, and you two over here are going to come over. You're going to stand on the wedges. Okay, I'll be over here for balance. The rest of you, long, long spine, nice and relaxed. Arms are dead weight, and we are just, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just doing a kind of a slapping motion. So I don't want you to think this. Once again, arms are dead weight. We're just twisting here. And what we're doing is we are loosening up the spine in a rotational aspect. Have to socially distance the wedge. So all you're doing is we're standing here. Once you get the feel of it, I want you to get long, and what we're doing is we're putting our ankles into what is called dorsiflexion, which we never do. If we have a shoe with a heel on it, we're in plantar flexion. We want to take that ankle joint and put it in a different position. And you can come over to this one. Different, huh? Exactly. That she feels at the back of her legs. Ideally, if you want to do this class in bare feet, it's probably better. So this is total opposite from where you are with those shoes with heels. Okay? Yeah? Nope, you're just going to stand there. Okay? Hold on to the chair because this is a different balance. This is pushing your weight backwards. Okay? Do you feel okay now? A couple days? Is it painful? It's tight, yes. Okay, so it's discomfort. So you can get off of it, take a break for a couple of seconds, and then get back on. It's painful. Okay. So this is good to know, which is good because we're never in this position. So how can this is half of the position of the ankle joint, and if we're never in it, how can the ankle joint work properly? Okay. The rest of you, stand please. Rotational slaps. So relax the arms are down. Arms are down. And you should have a slapping motion. Let me know if there's any pain. How's the big guy? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's getting better now. Make okay, make your feet parallel. Okay, good. Okay, you guys can go back to your chairs. You two come up. Okay, so what we're doing, Zoom, is we're combining. They're standing on a wedge with the toes, their toes up, so the ankles are in different positions. And we're combining that with this rotational slap. So we're just twisting at the waist. The arms are dead weight. You can hear them slap against you. Stand tall when you're doing this. No, do not do the rotational slap on the wedge. Okay, how do you guys feel on the wedge? Yep. So once again, Zoomers, some of the class is standing on a wedge, so their toes are up higher than their heels, okay? And what we're doing is we're just working one portion of the ankle joint. Okay, rotational slap. Okay, you two come on over to the wedges. You guys can go back to your chairs. Don't worry, we're coming back to it. But when you think about it, if you can make your toes higher than your heels, Our ankles are never in that position, and they should be. So once again, I'm tall through the waist here. My arms are dead weight, just slapping. Over time, you're going to find that this is loosening up the lower back. Twist more at the waist. How is your balance on the wedges? Okay? Any pain? Okay, good. A pull, yes, exactly. Yes, I expected the pull because our ankles are never in this position. Okay, you guys can go back to your chairs. We're going to come back to it. So what people in the class are saying, Zoomers, because their toes are higher than their heels, they're feeling a stretch back here, which is good because now we're allowing the ankle joint to work the way it's supposed to. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a bar, and all you're going to do is put it behind your back. So at home, if you have a mop handle or a broom or whatever, and all I'm doing here, first of all, when you do this, you're probably going to feel an opening right here, a bit of a stretch, and then just lightly twist with it. Okay? While two people are doing this, the rest of you, I want you behind your chair, and we're just going back. Okay? So hydrants, we've called them in previous classes, but we're opening up the hip flexors. So Zoomers, I'm bringing these down to the class, and once again, behind your back, and you're going to twist over if you can get like a mop or a broom. Okay. Over. So this is going behind your back. Hands the other way. Now, stand up straight, and you feel a bit of strength across the chest and shoulders. Okay. Now, slowly turn a little bit. Just get comfortable. Okay. Okay. Should feel, starting to feel this area open. Try and open it a little bit. So the rest of you doing the hydrants, you're holding the back. So Zoomers, I have two people with a bar behind their back, holding with palms forward. You can use a broom or a mop, and you're twisting this way. The rest of you, I want you doing a hydrant, so you just out and hold. Once again, we're stretching out the hip flexors here, which get tight from sitting, and this is going to give us greater hip mobility. How do you feel with the sticks? Do you feel, so you are going further with the stick than when you first started because you're starting to loosen up a little. Yeah, it does feel good. Okay, and if you two can grab the sticks. So once again, Zoomers, mop handle or broom handle behind you, holding with your hands with palms facing forward. You're relaxed and you're just twisting, holding the bar. Hands the other way. And just twist. So I can almost see, as you do this more, your shoulders and chest are starting to loosen up a little bit. But it's also giving the spine a rotational component. So once again, you guys, hydrants. So you're going up much higher with your hydrants now because you're starting to loosen up through the hips and the pelvis. Okay, if you two can grab the sticks, please. Gonna pole vault? Relax your arms. That's it. And then just twist. So some of you may feel like an opening right through here as you do this. You're also going to feel your spine start to loosen up a little bit. Okay, good. All right. I will take the sticks, please. You could pole vault with this, Natalie. Yes, exactly. Now, the cool thing about that is we just had Zoomers, we just had someone say they feel the abdominal muscles working now. That's because we very rarely work, everybody thinks working your abdominals, do crunches, do sit-ups. That's only working one muscle, but there are 4 other muscles in here, actually 5, that we get with the twisting component, okay? Okay, now get behind your chair, and we're going to do 2 more things. The first one, and we've done this before, are hip circles, knee up, out, down to the side, back up, and down. So watch me, knee up, or do it with me, out, down, up, back in, down. Do 5 of these on each side, please. After a while, you're going to feel this area in here start to loosen up. And your hip is going to start feeling better. But think about it, we never do this move during the day. And our hip is a ball and socket joint. It's meant, just like our shoulders, it's meant to have a lot of mobility, but we don't, because we don't work it during the day. And then, once again, we go to do something and all of a sudden there's pain. And after a while, this is going to start to feel really good once this groin and pelvis area opens up. Okay, now we're going to sit down in the chairs, please. And in the past, we have done ankle glides. Now we're doing ankle rolls. And just use the ankle, don't use the knee. And go in different directions. Do 1 foot at a time. Think about having a conversation with your ankle. So this one isn't moving nearly, my left one isn't moving nearly as well as my right one, which means I have what is called an ankle asymmetry, because ideally, the closer we can get both halves of our body to work in unison, the better. Yeah. Okay, so between being on the wedge and now doing this, our ankle joints are probably a little bit more mobile than they were before. Okay, now we're going to get behind our chairs and we're going to do hip swings. So we're taking the hip this way. Nice and relaxed. Don't force it. I don't care if you don't have a long range of motion. Nice and relaxed. So what we're doing is we're trying to work, in this class, we're trying to work our joints in all sorts of different movement patterns. So my left side does not work nearly as well as my right. Do a handful on each side. Okay, now to continue working with the hips, and we've done this before too, which is called karaoke, or some of you know it from dance classes as the grapevine. So we're here, forward and back. That's it. Now, by the end of this 6-week program, you're going to be very fluid in this. Now, it's interesting. When I do this, I feel a little hitch in my sacroiliac joint, which is something that I've had for a little while now. But once again, we do not move our hips in this plane of motion or in this joint movement during the day. Okay, do you feel your hips and pelvis starting to loosen up a little bit? Lower back loosening up a little bit? And you're feeling it also right here in the abs. Okay, good. Okay, now I'm going to come out onto the floor, Zoomers. How many of you can get down on one knee? And don't do it, but you can? Okay, you can. So ideally, by the end of this class, you're going to be able to do a full lunge, or the goal is to be able to do a full lunge, okay? Because that's one of the keys to getting up off of the floor, and that's a skill that we need to have, okay? So Zoomers, all I want you to do is put one foot in front of the other, hold on to something, and just kind of work in this lunge position. And I'm going up on the floor for a second. Now, for a lot of us, this movement is a software problem. So right now, you're uncomfortable in this position from a safety aspect. Okay, so I'll take my arms. Bring one like that. Okay, bring your, good. Bring the left leg back more. Good. Now, what you want to do, if you're ever in a position where you're the body's kind of fighting you, just breathe. Once you start breathing in that position, your central nervous system says, okay, this is okay. At this point in time, no. Okay, let's do the other side. That's okay. But once again, if you're in this position, bring the leg back further. Good. You just kind of hang out, stand tall. And just breathe, relax. And that will shut down the central nervous system, so you'll be more comfortable in the position. What body we're okay. If you were taking a death and holding your breath and your heart rate was up, this is not okay. Okay, good. You're welcome. So the goal for you, and we'll see how close we can get to it, is to be able to do a lunge by yourself by the end of the 6 weeks. Okay? If it is a safety issue or whatever, even if we can just get it a little better than it was today, then we've made improvement. So no worries and no pressure. Okay, good. But once again, this is not a position we're in every day. For one, because it's frightening. No sliding issues with the socks? No sliding issues with your socks? Okay. Good. Okay, excellent. You can sit down and take a break. I don't know. I don't control that. Yes. Right. So I think what they do here is they film them and then they put them on YouTube or something. I'm not sure. And I don't know if they do that every class or not, but that's not something that I do. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start working on the upper body. I see some of you are warming up a little. Good, good. So all we're gonna do here is, this is a very, very light band, and I'm not looking for strength. All we're doing is just using the back to stretch this up, okay? Nice and easy. Because once again, this is not a position we normally do during the day. What we're doing is we're working these muscles in the upper back, which is going to cause our shoulder joints to sit backwards. Our shoulder joints always sit forwards because of all the sitting we're doing. So Natalie, so just grab each end and just using the muscles in the back. No, grab the end. Because this is not a strength movement. That's it. Drop your left shoulder. So all we're doing is we're activating muscles in the upper back here to help protect the shoulder joint. Okay, and if you can pass the band to your neighbor here. Once again, Zoomers, I have a very, very light band, and all we're doing is pulling it apart. Think about using the muscles of the back. So think about your shoulder blades. That's it. Did you feel the difference when you did it that way? Yeah. You're not. Anytime we have something in our hands, we think about pulling the hands apart. Ideally, we want to think about this movement as starting it with the back. Okay, pass the band along. The rest of you can continue with this movement, but think about muscles around the shoulder blades, squeezing. Muscles in the shoulder blades squeezing. Very good. So once again, Zoomers, light band. And if you don't have one, just think about the shoulder blades, muscles around the shoulder blades, bringing the arms out to the side. Okay, pass the band along, please. So over the course of the 6-week program, you're going to find, since we're doing joint actions, joint movements that we normally don't do during the day, that your joints are going to start to work better. Okay, pass the band along. That's it. You, Carol. Think about the muscles around the shoulder blades. It does feel good. You're going to find a lot of these movements do feel good because when we were kids, we worked in all different planes of motion and ranges of motion, and then we stopped. Okay, pass that along, please. Exactly. That's the mind-muscle connection. Perfect. And that is a software problem. I talk about hardware problems and software problems. Software problem is not being able to make the mind-muscle connection. And most of the time, that happens because we haven't moved that way in forever. And so the brain has to have a little conversation with the body part, with the muscles doing the joint action, saying, okay, this is how we do it. That's it. Okay, I'll take the band, please. Now, this next one, I find incredibly difficult. Thank you. And this is called the zipper. Ideally, we should be able to put one hand here, and get the hands within a couple of inches of each other. I'd be lucky to get my hands within a couple of feet of each other. Okay, so stand up. Nice and gentle, nice and easy. Let me know if there's any pain. Look straight ahead. Be tall. Anybody have any pain besides me? Okay, we're going to see if we can take care of that. So Just nice and easy. So when I'm moving my arms, I'm thinking of my shoulder blades doing the work, as opposed to thinking my hands. But we are never in this position, but ideally, pain. Okay. All right, Zoomers, I'll be right over. Zoomers, we're just taking one hand behind the back. And if you want, so start just a hand behind the back and the hand behind the neck. And let's see if there's pain. On the right side. Okay. Now the question is there pain because of what we were doing right before when we first started the zipper? There was pain before that. Okay, I see. So once again, Zoomers, hand behind the back. Let's start with hand behind the back, then hand behind the neck. And just breathe into it. Okay, relax, breathe into it. That's going to shut down the central nerve, let the central nervous system know that this is good, that it's comfortable. How's it feel, Carol? Yeah. It's cool because the body wants to be in different positions because it was when we were 7. Once again, once you're in here, just breathe a little bit, nice and relaxed breathing through the nose so that the central nervous system knows it all is okay. Okay, good. You can have a seat, take a break. Yeah. Exactly. So comment from the class. She was doing homework from the previous program and then didn't for a few days, and you can feel it in your body. What happens is, if we can just do different movements every day, you'll never be in a position where you go to do something and the brain has to make the connection with the muscles. Okay, how do we do this? Because the brain is going to say, we just did this movement yesterday. And in turn, it's going to be a lot easier and less chance of injury. Okay, so now we are going to have palms forward and one arm at a time, once again, using the muscles around your shoulder blades, you're just lifting the arm up, but keep the palm forward. So think about having your hands let's do right hand. Hand like this, and I'm more concerned with the hand being straight and up than how far you can go. Now, this is called shoulder flexion. When we have shoulder flexion, normally our hand is pointed down because the only reason we're doing this is to grab something, and we're never going to grab this way. But the safest way to do any flexion is to externally rotate the joint, and we do that with the shoulder by having the palm out. So think about this nice and relaxed, okay? Because this is just kind of a freedom of movement program. So what I'm finding now is that I'm getting up a little higher with less stiffness. Can you have the palm forward? Or does that bother your shoulder? Okay, so when you get up to here, you do this. Yeah. So don't think about, wow, that's unbelievable shoulder flexion. Okay, don't go that high because when you go that high, the palm goes neutral. Right. Okay, and that doesn't bother the shoulder. Is that giving you right shoulder pain? Okay, so you don't have an external rotation problem, you have an internal rotation problem. which is normal. Okay, so just, all right, I want you to stand now and just do the left arm, hand forward. When you get to the top, and you don't have to force it, just breathe. Nice deep breaths through the nose, and now bring it up a half an inch higher. Breathe through the nose, half inch higher. Okay, so right now, all of you can put the arm down, have better shoulder flexion than when we first started this. And that's because we were breathing in the position. Once we breathe in the position, this doctor I'm studying says that the body owns that position. So for instance, if you can get down and touch your toes, but you have to hold your breath, you don't own the position because the body's now fighting you. Once you breathe into it, the central nervous system says, okay, we're good. All right, right hand. All I want you to think about, nice and loose, palm forward, just bring it up. Breathe in the position. Up. Breathe in the position. Up. Breathe in the position. And up. Breathe in the position. Okay, down. So what happens when we breathe, we can be in a position. So for instance, I have a right shoulder issue. I get to a certain height and the muscles around the area start to contract to protect me, okay? Because it doesn't want me to do something that's gonna hurt myself. Once you start breathing in that position, those muscles that are contracting really tightly start to loosen up a little bit, which allows me to go further with no pain. The same doctor I was telling you about, his name is Greg Cook, brilliant. The other night I tried to touch my toes and I was like 4 inches from the floor, okay? I did a 10-minute progression that he recommended to turn off the muscles that were fighting, not to stretch the hamstrings to make me go down lower, but just to turn off the muscles that were fighting. 10 minutes later, I tried to touch my toes and I could almost put my full palms on the floor in 10 minutes, simply because I turned off the muscles that were fighting. And that's what we're going to be doing a lot of in this program. Okay, so now we're going to go into shoulder extension, so palms backwards. And let's do left arm, and we're just using the muscles of the shoulder. Pain. Breathe into it. And then a little higher. Breathe into it. So I feel an incredible tightness right through here. I don't know if you guys do. A little higher. A little higher. Huh? It depends on how you build it. Okay, that's good. If you don't feel any tension here, reason I am is from years and years, 52 years of lifting weights. That's why I have this issue here. Okay, right side, palm backwards. Bring it back a little bit, arm straight. Breathe into it. A little more. Does that hurt the shoulder? Okay. Right, exactly. Okay, you can have a seat. So, member of the class just said that one side is a lot more mobile than the other side, and that's true pretty much with all of us. We have what are called asymmetries. So I can put you through a 7-movement function screen, and most people I do that with, I can see an asymmetry where one side works better than the other. Ideally, we want to get both sides, either front or back or left and right, to be as close as possible in their movement patterns, because otherwise we're going to develop issues as we age. Okay. These actually are Thai fighting sticks. We are not doing stick fighting, so don't worry. So Zoomers, you can do this without the stick for now. What I'm trying to accomplish with this is you're going to have the stick maybe grab it halfway, okay? And what I want you to do are different movements. So think about hands on the clock. You go back here. Over time, we're going to take this hand by the end of the program and have it down here. So now there's more weight here, a little bit more tension on the shoulder joint. So I think, was it you that said you have problems going to the drive-through? Okay. Right. So problems with the shoulder reaching if you didn't get close enough to the drive-through to grab her coffee. Okay. That's because we very rarely work at what is called end range of motion. So once again, you may be able to do 10-pound dumbbell presses all day long, but you reach in the back seat to grab your pocketbook, and there's an issue. Okay. So Zoomers, this week, if you can find something that's just going to give a little added weight towards the end, something that's long if possible. If you can't think of anything, email me, steve.avellino@yahoo.com, Avellino, and I'll figure out something for you. So, and if you can stand up, and you can stand up, grab the stick halfway, okay? Now, holding the stick, the rest of you, I want you to do the movement without the stick, and then I'm going to come over and give you the stick. So, right hand all the way out, stick pointing straight. Okay, any pain? Okay, let's lift the stick up, down. Okay, now out to the side. Keep the stick straight out. There you go. Any pain? Bring it in. Cross the midline. Back. Okay, good. Other hand. Grab the stick in the middle. And we're going straight arm up. Down. Out to the middle again. Now we're going to the side. Think about the shoulder joint moving. So think about the ball and the end of your arm bone in the socket. I want you to just think about that joint moving nice and easy. Okay, if you guys, you two can grab the sticks. So one thing, since this is the first time I've done this program, I'm going to fine tune some things so it's a lot smoother next week, okay? So stick it straight out. Nope. There you go. So hold it straight out. No, you were doing it right. Straight forward. There you go. Okay. Up. Down. Straight ahead. Out to the side. Think about the shoulder moving, not the torso. So when you just, there you go. See the difference? So you don't want the body turning with it. You just want the shoulder joint moving. Good. Now bring it across. Any pain? So let's do this movement for now. But use the shoulder, not the torso. Beautiful. So you're a little looser in the right shoulder right now. Okay, let's do the left side. This across, nice and loose. So picture the shoulder joint. You have your socket. You have the ball on the upper part of the arm. Just think about it, gliding. But this is getting the pocketbook out of the back seat, reaching out to grab something when you're going through the drive-through. Okay, give the sticks to these people over here, please. Straight ahead, whoa. Okay, good. Down, back, out straight. Now out to the side. Any shoulder pain? Interesting. Now, no, one of the things is, since now there's weight in her hand, these muscles here are trying to give her a little bit more support. So think about out here and then forward, nice and slow and easy. So no pain with the stick, but pain without the stick. Yeah, okay, other side. Okay, other hand. You're looking quite loose now. Okay, now straight out. Out to the side. Think of the shoulder joint, nice and loose and just gliding. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, I will take the sticks, please. What's that? These I got when I was studying Krav Maga, which is a self-defense system, and they were doing stick fighting. So I bought the sticks, and before I could even start with them, I had rotator cuff surgery. But they work well in this position here for these type of movements, because I'm constantly hearing people saying the pocketbook is the big thing, reaching the back seat to grab something. When you do that, you're in a compromised position here because we don't own this position, because we never do it. We'll do it once in a blue moon, and it causes pain once we add load to it, like the weight of a pocketbook or a bag with a few copies in it. Okay, what we're doing now is I want you to get nice and tall, and all I want you to think about is reaching up and grabbing. Nice and loose. You can use your torso in this one. So when I do this, I'm feeling a stretch from here to here. I'm feeling it from the hips all the way into the arm. Now, after you do a few of these, you should feel yourself starting to relax. But once again, how often do we do this in daily life? And if we do it, it's usually under load, so we have a weight or something in our hand. We're picking something up. Okay? All right, now what I want you to do, take your left hand, put it right here in your belly, and we're just doing this. And you can, once again, you can use your torso. You can twist at the waist. And have your eyes follow your hand. I do this movement or a variation of it with, usually wives tell me that they're afraid to drive with their husbands because the husband is pulling out onto the highway, but does not have the neck mobility to look for oncoming traffic. So I'll actually have them doing rear punches, and it fixes that problem in a couple of weeks. So once again, hand on the belly, and we just think ballet. Nice and easy and relaxed. The whole body is moving. Other side. So after a while, you can start getting your feet involved as well. And now we're taking all the connective tissue in the body and we're just kind of making it less sticky. Eyes follow the hand. Okay. Front again, nice and high. Slow, Natalie. Natalie has never done anything slow in her life. So it's the whole body. How's your shoulder doing this? Okay. So what I want you to do is anytime there's pain, just go to the point where the pain starts and stop there. So if you just have to do this height, that's fine. We'll see if we can work through it over the 6 weeks. Okay, let's take a look at the homework. So there's only 3 things to do in the homework, and they are, the first 2 are rotational. So what you can do is you can do this on your bed, okay? And you're lying on the bed, feet and knees together, and we're just swinging. Nice and easy, gentle movement. Okay, everybody understand that one? Okay, as soon as I did the first one to the left, I felt this major shift in my back, kind of like this cracking, probably because I've loosened up the area doing the movements with you. But once again, we need to be able for our spine to twist. Because lots of people who have lower back injuries, like I think someone said they had a drawer underneath their oven, okay? So they would go down and then have to twist, open the thing and say, oh, I gotta get that. In that position, we don't think I'm gonna step closer. The first inclination is, you know, this. Or same thing, people tell me that they have pain or discomfort the day after doing yard work. If I'm raking, I put the rake against a tree here, and then I say, okay, I'm going to take a break, or I'm going in for the night. If I go like this and say, well, I forgot the rake, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this, all right? That's just the way the brain works, unless it's pain involved. And then all of a sudden there's an issue the next day when you wake up because you've been doing all these different movements that you haven't done in forever, okay? So the first one is the hip swings. The second one, which we already did, was the rotational slap. Arms are dead weight. So with the rotational slap, kind of the same as a hip swing, but the hip swing, we're using the weight of the lower body. Rotational slap, we're using the weight of the upper body. And once again, the hands just slap against the body. You should hear them. You're an expert at this now, but you've taught so many children that move. Okay, the next one is the one that's the most difficult, and that's the zipper. So think about having hand on the back of the neck, hand on the lower back, okay? And especially you, I want you to be able to do it where there's no pain. So for instance, you had the internal rotation when you're this way, right? That bothers you. So try it on the hip, okay? So this week when you're doing it, just think about, okay, I'm gonna get into a position, oh, I'm starting to feel a little pain, put the hand on the body there. And through the 6 weeks, we're gonna see how far we can get the hand back with no pain. Okay, so that's our goal. Our goal is to work on the lunge position because ideally, so when I first started, lunging has always been difficult because, first of all, it's a balance issue, okay? But I started doing movements to loosen up the joints when I was putting this program together. And after 3 days, I have no problems lunging. Now in this position, if you breathe into it, okay, the central nervous system starts saying, okay, we own this position, we can breathe, life is good, but it also works your abdominal muscles, big time, okay? So the homework, the hip swings, everybody understand that? You're lying on your bed, feet and knees together, okay? Now you're taking your lower body, and this is a gentle move, okay? You're taking the weight of your lower body and it's decompressing the spine. Then we go to the rotational slack, which is in essence the same movement, but now we're using the shoulders and arms as opposed to the hips and legs, okay? And then once again, the zipper. So start off this week just in this position and just breathe. So hang out in it. So every once in a while during the day, hand behind the head, hand on the lower back, and just deep diaphragmatic breath. So through the nose into the belly. And that's going to shut off, that's going to tell the central nervous system that we're okay. And in turn, that's going to shut off some muscles that are keeping us from doing this position properly. That's much better than the last time when we first did it. Much better. Okay, anybody who wants to stand on the wedge a final time, feel free. If not, we are done until next week. Do the homework, okay? There's only 3 moves, but they're going to make a big difference. So our goal is for you to internally rotate your shoulder in 6 weeks with no pain. I don't know if we can do it or not, but we'll see how close we can get.